Hey, here we are, y'all. Just like that, we are back. This is your boy James, and you watching my channel, Watch Your Mouth Reviews, where I'm here to give my honest review while trying to watch my mouth and avoid this echo. Sorry, y'all. There's gonna be sirens coming up in a bit because people got to be crazy in Phoenix and be loud. But joining me as always, my girl, Mrs. Best. Y'all say what's up to her.
Hi.
Yeah. So if y'all read the caption, this is Bougie Season 1, Episode 7. We are going to do episode 7 and 8 because We TV and Carlos King Productions decided to go ahead and do two videos in one night. And it's Easter. Ain't nobody got time for that. Carlos, why you do this to us? If anything, you could have canceled this and brought it back next week. But to play two episodes, this means one of two things. Either we're trying to put out what they already have edited and get rid of this, and this is not coming back next season, or I don't know. What could be the other reasons, other alternatives?
It doesn't make sense. Um, the worst thing you can do with the new show is rush it in a way where the audience can feel that it's rushed. I understand Easter was here, but for example, Beverly Hills Housewives, we covered that over Christmas and New Year's and Thanksgiving. And when the holidays came, they just sometimes they wouldn't do it the week before the holiday, so you wouldn't get it for 2 weeks, or then they go on their winter breaks. I know that can't happen all the time, but with Easter, y'all could have had episode 7 giving people Easter, or taking the week off on Easter and then come back and extended it. Then you're on TV for longer and people have anticipation. But I don't, I've said this, y'all. Carlos King is like the Tyler Perry of reality TV. And I don't mean that in a positive way.
Damn, y'all. She said what she said, but I agree. It's like this was really stupid to have these back-to-back episodes. It's hard to take notes, especially when this was edited in the worst possible way it could have ever been edited. It was like it was all over the place. Y'all were trying to do stuff, every single scene possible that y'all have filmed outside of real into this. So if this is all over the place, y'all, I am so sorry because these two episodes were all over the place. Like it was too much. So episode 7. So episode 7 pretty much picks up where we leave off, which was the stupid cliffhanger. It was Tamika and her little girlfriend, Kim Ann or whatever her name was, whatever her name was. Sorry, y'all. I can't keep track of everything. She was there all the time, but she was there, but then she didn't say much. So it's like it's hard to keep. It's not like Dr. Princess, who made her appearance very well known that she was trying to be a cast member but didn't make the cut. That's all I'm saying. So she was telling Kim Ann, that this whole thing about Gaucher and her calling her a homophobe or whatever y'all want to call that is, really ridiculous considering, Tamika having a lot of affiliations with people who are in the community. The friend was all like, well, it's offensive to me as well because I also have a little lady friend out with. And Tamika was like, but you date men too. And she goes, yeah, I do. And she goes, you just greedy. That's just greedy to do that. Tamika, it is not greedy. The term is actually the B in the LGBT. It's called a bisexual. A lot of people do not want to admit or acknowledge that this exists, but this is what that is. Sometimes this week it's a man, sometimes this week it's a woman. Sometimes you have people who are specific to one, but there's something about the same sex that may intrigue you, or vice versa. It is very much a possibility. I can't say with people. That's what she means by education. You need education because I'm sure there were some bisexual women at her event that could have been like you. Yeah, I like both equally. That's all I'm saying. So in that aspect, I did get Gaucher. Gaucher gets on my nerves more so the next episode than this one. I'm gonna take it easy on Gaucher based on what we learned about her. But yeah, it was a lot. So speaking of Gaucher, Gaucher gets a phone call from her mom as she was, cleaning out her backyard. And her mom says, I'm going to drop by and come see you. We're going to make a stop to Atlanta before we drive over to Mississippi because their family has property in Mississippi that they are wanting to sell. So she lets her know she's going to come see her and she's excited to see her. And the conversation is real stiff. We don't understand because we know Gaucher is very cold. So the fact that the conversation was stiff was kind of like, okay, even with your mom, you like this? But she has reason, though. She has very big reason to have that. So then we move on to Princess. Princess is having her Dillard's fashion show. And As she gets to the parking lot, she sits in her car and calls her husband, and she tells her husband that her mom is calling her nonstop, and she knows it's about her dad. And her mom is pretty much giving her the standpoint that your dad is not going to make it. It's only a few hours before, maybe the end of his time here on Earth. But she already has this fashion show, and she's already preoccupied that at this point in this moment, she can't think about that. Honestly, and I'm gonna keep it real with y'all because I can relate to this. I felt like she needed to cancel that photo shoot and be there for her father. I know that that's a lot of people are like, well, that would have been impossible because her father's in Jamaica. But at the same time, she should have done all that she could to be there with her father. If this career was meant to be for you, then it will be here when you get back. But you only have one parent. So I kind of felt like especially because she has the money. It'd be different if she did not have the money and is using this fashion career to obtain the money. Then it would be different. But I felt like I wouldn't have done this fashion shoot. How do you feel, Mrs. Best? Me letting you talk right now. Let me let you speak on this.
Um, about whose fashion show? Which person's first? Because
Princess. We're speaking of Princess's fashion show
I
first.
figured that I heard you talking about her, and I was like, first I want to say condolences to her family, but her fashion show was weird. I seen people shopping in the background in Dillard's. Um, I didn't like anything except for a jacket. There was a jacket that I liked, the long coat Tamika kept talking about. That was it. I don't know. It was odd. I've never seen that in a Dillard's or a Macy's or a high end store. Again, I don't shop at many of these places though because of my income, y'all. I don't shop beyond my means. I refuse. But yeah, I don't like that it was in the store. I don't know why. I felt like maybe it could have been something like, I mean, if it's in a mall, I understand why you can't do it outside, but I didn't like that it was in the store. Um, and I didn't care for the fashions. I'm sorry. I just didn't. They reminded me of the clothes that your older auntie. I'm not talking about your 30 to 50-year-old aunt. Your 50 plus year old aunt will wear a lot of those
So
clothes.
what she's saying, y'all, this is something that your great great auntie would have wore back in 1977. This is what this was given. But what
Princess
I was
just does not give fashion to me, and I am not attacking her passion as she calls it. But when I look at Princess, if I look at the cast of the show and say who looking at them just in the picture looks like they're like a fashionista, a fashion icon, or a fashion designer, I would not choose Princess. I just wouldn't. I don't. Sometimes it's okay, but most of the time I'm underwhelmed by her outfits or they're strange. So
yeah, I was gonna get to the fashion, but my question was directly, do you feel like she should have canceled the fashion show to be there for her father? You don't.
what's she gonna do for America? Now, here's my thing. You've known your father was sick and in hospice. You know that he's been at the end of his life. I think that's why she felt so bad. Uh, I would have canceled everything and went to Jamaica just to have as much time around my family
And
as
that's
I
what I'm
could.
saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was at the point where she was calling her husband in the car, and she was like, my mom keeps calling. I know my dad doesn't have much time, but I said yes to this fashion show, so I had to do it. And for me, I was getting to the point where I was like, I kind of felt like she should have canceled it, gone to Jamaica, because it would probably still be here when
She
she
would
got
not
back.
have lost any money. The other thing is she could have still, if she was in Jamaica, her father would have passed away because it happened the following morning. They're on the East Coast. They could have got the flight. She had time. She could have figured it out. But she did say later down the line, I know you'll bring that up. We, we know that her father wasn't the most involved, so maybe that's why it wasn't a priority.
Mhm.
Um, I don't know, but I'm sorry for her loss.
Yeah, that was definitely sad when we get to. We're gonna get to that point, you guys. But I just want to know if she felt like she should have canceled the fashion show and went to see her father, regardless. Because I felt like you only have one father, and she even said it like as he's shown up in her life at the present time. she was able to forgive all that and just be with him in his last standing moments. But what I'm gonna say about her fashion show, because since Mrs. Best kind of covered it, I didn't like anything either. It was very dated, and I felt like I guess she was only selective of the things that Dillard's had in current aisle. But I don't know if she got that from a current collection. I don't know if that was the current season's product or if that was last season's product. But the looks were all very dated. And from her collection, she only had showcased the jacket and then the outfit she had on, which I didn't like either or. So, in terms of that, I felt like she did a good job. She really did. In terms of, hosting it, I thought she spoke well. I thought her energy was vibrant. I
She was too extra hosting, in my opinion. It sounded like
she
she was trying to be cool. I am not by any means by what I said about her fashion show getting at Princess or saying that the fashions were not fashionable. I think that she just is obviously going to attract a certain demographic with the type of clothes that she makes. And the way that she was speaking doesn't match the demographic that's going
Well,
to.
see, what she said to me, and this is where I kind of looked at it a little, because she said she wanted to incorporate the mature look with the young look, and I felt like the focus seemed to be only on the mature look, and none was showcased on the actual young look that she was going for. And then she only had one male model, and it was like, okay, so you was only going to do one male model. You couldn't do at least three. Like I was just confused by all that. I was just confused by it all. So, but she got a call from Mrs. Dillard's, and that is a very big deal, y'all. It really is when you get a call from the owner of the company wanting you to showcase something. And Dillard's is huge. It's not like only in
A
Atlanta.
big company.
It's a huge company. So big ups to her. Do better, princess, and then bring out your whole line. Don't just bring out a jacket and think that that's fat. That's not fashion.
I don't think that Dillard's was. I think Mrs. Dill. I think she has a good relationship with Mrs. Dillard, but I just don't think that they would have normally done this fashion show or this event. I feel like they did it because of who she is and the fact that they knew that at this time there would be cameras. We have to remember Princess is a television executive, so she understands thoroughly how promoting, exchanging things like, oh, my clothes, if you give me a fashion show, you'll get to be showcased all over TV. And now people will have a revitalized interest in Dillard's. And maybe they won't end up like Macy's from Dillard's perspective, where Macy's is closing thousands of stores. They're almost non existent. I feel like it was some sort of exchange because I just don't see the purpose in the fashion show with how places like Dillard's advertise. But it was cute. Good for you, Princess.
Good for you. So we now move on to a very rough part of the entire episode. Y'all, Jesus be offense. So Gaucher, her mother, and her aunt or I mean at Gaucher's house, and they sit down and she, fills them in on the children, grandchildren. She says that, she talked to her daughter's in Dallas. She hasn't talked to her son. He's reached out to some of her friends. He wants to talk, but he doesn't know when the right time is. And when Gaucher was saying this, and when I saw the energy towards her mother and at this, it's kind of like, so y'all are just repeating cycles, pretty much. Y'all are repeating cycles. It's just the situations were all different. So Gaucher mentions what her situation was. Her situation is that she was SA. Y'all, I cannot say that on this channel because YouTube is strict with the guidelines. But she was, she had an assault in her family. She went to her mother. And when she was recapping the story, her mother says that, yeah, I wanted you to give me direct details of what happened. And my mouth dropped to the floor. And then she says, because I wanted to be very violent with those people. And I was like, I am sick of black people doing this. Because it's
I
only
told
us that do
you
this.
go be mad when you watch
It's
that
only
movie.
because it's only us that do this.
It's not.
You, no, I'm sorry. It's not, but it is. because really
It's
don't
a
want to
it's a lot of minorities that do it, but I think black people do it in a way that's more like
we do it in a
noticeable
case where we
without
showcase it
giving.
on TV and we try
Yeah.
to double down to make it seem like it was okay for you to say, okay, well, I need details and I just want to be violent with the people versus us calling the police. It's always us protecting predators, mainly because it gives me it was some kind of uncle or somebody that was close to the family that did it. And then we protect them by saying, oh, I just want to get violent just to showcase that I'm on your side with this, but I'm really not about to do nothing. Meanwhile, he's showing up to every event, every family function, everything you can. You sitting at kitchen tables next to him with your head down. It's like a lot of these women suffer like this. And then they go to their mothers thinking their mother is going to protect them. And then the mother says this. Y'all, I felt for Gaucher in that moment because I saw the little girl telling her mom I was molested. And then I'm seeing the mom saying, well, look, I, you know, I wanted you weren't detailed enough for me. Like you didn't give me any details. And when you told me it happened, I was angry and wanted to inflict violence. And it was like,
You
that's a
know, to
call.
me, when parents do that, and I don't know if it could be my own personal trauma. When I was a little girl, I told my mom when something like that happened to me, and it was by an uncle, her brother. She told me I was lying. So, I unfortunately it is something that's common, um, especially in the black community, and it does suck. As a kid who's experienced that, as well as someone who now has education in the psychological mind, the worst thing you can do is ask for more details or assume that a child is lying. Most kids don't even understand things that happen in essay situations until they're happening to them. So if they're telling you that, they've likely experienced it or a friend is or anything like that. But the worst thing you could do is to ask for more details or do anything to insinuate that your child is lying. I also think the worst thing that you can do is say to your child, like, oh, now I want to cause violence because this person's done that. Because kids still have innocence to them. They don't want anybody to get hurt. And a lot of times they keep stuff silent or keep it a secret because they think that they're preventing others from getting hurt. So it's sad, but I'm not surprised that her mom handled it that way based on how Gaucher has lacked accountability on this cast. The things that we go through, the way that we're raised, and our traumas really do impact our behaviors. And Gaucher is never accountable for anything. She roots Princess, talks shit to Princess, then Princess snaps on her finally, even though she didn't do anything that time. But your actions to her is why she felt the need to step. Then you cover for Tamika, cause it all of these types of issues with them, with Tamika, but you never once admitted anything that you could have done to offend Tamika. It's always what people are doing to you. So if we look at just how Gaucher operates, she lacks accountability. She just does it in a way that's not damaging, like her mama did it to her. So they're very similar, but her I never understand why people bring their parents on here when you know, I'm sure you knew your mama was stubborn. I'm sure you knew that your mama would say some shit like this because she probably been saying it to you. I'm sure that you knew that it was going to be difficult to have this conversation with your mom and she wouldn't take accountability. Yet you still filmed with her on TV. I don't get the point. I think some things we
I
don't
didn't
need
get
to
that
do.
either, unless she was trying to pay her mom back for all the time because she knew viewers of the show and people who recap the show was going to go in on this lady for doing that. And I'm not gonna go in on this lady because I realize now as I'm getting older is that people are going to be who they're going to be,
Yeah.
and there's no my opinion or how I feel about the situation may not even matter because if they were to change the situation, they probably wouldn't have done anything different. But what I
The
will
thing
say
is
is this.
her mom is not, it's not like when we watched the Scott's mom on the R&B escape show. It's not like that where mom is like intentionally trying to cause
Right, right.
a rift or pain to a child. And today this lady just struggling to acknowledge, things that happened to her child and how it went. But I don't think she's like the worst mom, but
I
she
don't think
just
she's the worst mom. It's just that she's prideful. Her pride is in her way. And I
mm,
think that, and then and I'm going to talk about this to kind of validate that point. Her pride is such in her way when Gaucher mentioned, living with her dad. She goes, I was angry at you for that because of the situation with the dad. And then Gaucher's like, yeah, you treated me horribly when it came to him. And I think it's because of what he did to you. And then this is the part that got me. She goes, even when I was in foster care, going through all those situations, there was no lack of protection. She goes, where were you in foster care, Gaucher? And it was like, uh, ma'am. Now I don't want to call Gaucher no lie on
He's
national,
not
like,
lying. Nobody's
but
lying about being in foster
why
care.
don't you have a recollection of your
She
daughter being
has
in
a
foster?
recollection. It's fight or flight that everybody's brain does, and everybody thinks that means you're literally about to fight somebody or run away. Fight or flight affects people in different ways. As soon as that lady said that, I said, oh, in her mind, she's defending her entire fucking character in Gaucher's mom's mind. So even though it's something that's obviously a lie, not everybody lies just to protect themselves or with some shady, calculated manner. There really is fight or flight. It's a response with the brain, y'all. And that lady, I feel like that's what she jumped into. But at the same time, if that's the first place that your brain goes is to tell somebody that that just did not happen, how you don't remember your child was in foster care? That is public information that people can go and look
Well,
up.
not only that, like surely you had to have some type of emotional withdrawal of your child being taken away by county services. I am sure, like that had to hit you in a space, unless it was another reason other than the SA that she got. I don't know what the reason was she got taken away from you, but you had to have some sort of infliction of pain somewhere. There's not a mother that I do not know on this earth that would not be distraught or heartbroken about their babies leaving them due to a foster care system because they
Yeah.
couldn't take care of them. Like I remember one of my old flames. He didn't meet his mother till he was 18 years old, and we met around that time. And I remember his mom every time she saw him, like his biological, every time she saw him, she cried every single time. It had been maybe a year past, and when she would leave, like to go home, she would start crying.
Mm.
And it was one of those situations where he didn't understand. He asked her one time, I said, you shouldn't ask your mom that. But he asked her, he goes, Mom, why are you crying? And she goes, it hurts every time you're out of my presence. She goes, because I feel like I can get it right now, but it still hurts me to the day they took you from me. Because they took him at, I think, 2 years old.
Mhm.
So she still relives that moment by moment by moment. And mind you, I told you he was 18 when he met her. So that had been 16 years that had passed where
Yeah.
that still hits her as hard as it did the day it happened. So I don't know what's going on with this lady, but she kind of explained it a little bit. She said, that the auntie let it out the bag of how they were raised. And the mom pretty much said, look, anything of negativity or things that have harmed me, I have blocked out. And I said, and that's the problem.
Mhm.
That is the problem because you're not dealing with it.
It's a cop out though, because people who have blocked stuff out can't say, "Oh, I've blocked this out." They don't even assume that they've blocked it out. If something is truly blocked, like a person doesn't even fully know or remember that it's there. So I think that she feels guilty.
Mm-hmm.
Go to therapy, but at the end of the day, your child suffered, not you. You had choices. They went the way choices you made led to certain things that may not have been positive, but that's just life. Go get some therapy, but do not sit up in this woman's face. Even though I haven't cared for Gaucher on the show like that, do not sit up in her face and tell her that her pain is not real. Don't do that. Go get you some help and keep it to your fucking self instead of saying to her that what she experienced is not real. And I wish that parents who have kids that go through stuff would at the very least do that, because you can't change the past. The damage is truly already done. A lot of times the situations like what we see with Gaucher and her mom. So don't tell them at the very least that their experience is not real or allude that they're lying. Seek help for yourself because it is painful if something happens to your kid. We have to acknowledge that too, but don't tell the kid they lying. Come on.
It's like, don't tell your kid she's lying, and then you need to be more forthcoming when it comes to details or information that they need. Because she was basically saying without saying, Ma, where were you? Hi, Naya. Thank you for joining us today, my love. She was asking, she's like, Mom, where were you? Why did you not do anything because that's what she was asking. And the mom was just like, "Look, I blocked that out of my memory because I don't want it, because I didn't want it to affect me. I have to be strong." And see, the thing about it, Ian Van Zandt said this, and that's why I'm a champion for Ian Van Zandt. A lot of people are not. They think she is this, you know, like fake prophet or whatever you guys want to call her. But the one thing that she says is that her practice and her preaching and her ministry and her teaching is very profound. The thing about life and the thing about things that life teaches us is that we either live beyond an experience or we give it a name and carry it with us. We can't just block out things. So in this case, what the mother did was give it a name and then carried it with her. And that name is called block. Because when she mentions it, you see the mother, especially when bringing up her own childhood, she didn't live beyond that. She just chose to block it out. So now she can't verbally speak the things that has happened to her because she says she doesn't want to go there. But if you are healed from something, and if something is no longer affecting you, you could speak on it and not even have an emotional attachment to it. And like Nia Green said, she is our wise auntie. Absolutely. I wish she could come back on our TV screens because I watch reruns of Beyond Fix My Life to this day. Thank you, YouTube, for posting all those old videos.
They did. They did. And Yama's great. I miss her. I know some people are like, ah, da, 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 you don't have the training of psychology or life coaching to be doing this, but y'all not listening or going to the people who do have the training and the shit. So I mean,
We do need our show back, and absolutely, and I agree with that. No one does go to people who go to get training, so at least she does the life lessons and the life tools. Because the things that she was doing, like I remember, hey Shayna, thank you for dropping by. Um, I remember I think it was Monifa's episode. And the lesson was like she had like a stack of fake money, and she was saying like, "What did your mother invest in you for you to invest in your child?" And she was just giving those small scenarios. And Monifa had way more money than her own daughter had, and she says that you didn't invest in your child what your mother invested into you, and that's the lesson. So she had tools and she had profound lessons. People just didn't want to give her the credit. So yeah, that mama need help. I'm praying for Goshay because it makes sense now. Because at first I was like, I have not seen for this lady. She can go to hell in two higher waters for all I care because of her nasty attitude. But it now makes sense now. So I'm gonna have some grace with her this episode. The next episode, I'm sorry, y'all. She finna get it. So this episode, I'll give her some grace for now. So moving on, not Doctor, Princess is at home before the cameras could even get into her house good enough. She got the phone call that her father had passed, and she is y'all so distraught. She is feeling guilty that she did not make it in time to say goodbye. She is feeling guilty that she didn't call her mother back. Her sister and her husband are there trying to comfort her. So finally, she gets the courage to call her mom and ask her. She goes, "Mom, did he die?" She said, "Yes, he did die." And she goes, "I should have called. I should have called. I should have said something." And they're all telling her, like, there's not much you could have done from here because he's in Jamaica. So I felt like this was something she shouldn't have televised. I really don't feel like this is something we should have saw. She should have told them cameras, "Look, let me get myself together and then I'll make a statement." But to see her so broke down like that, I just could not imagine. Yeah, that was hard for me to watch Princess go through that.
well, anybody who watch WeTV, who watch Mama June and them people, the shit that the WeTV cameras, they will stay there. Like you watch any other network, you'll see the cameraman kind of try and put the camera down. At least try. WeTV, they gonna keep that shit running.
Y'all, real quick, Naya, Shayna, if y'all are still in my chat, do y'all want me to cover Mama June? Because it's funny she brought her up. I just watched that episode, the premiere episode, and I am floored with the shit I saw.
Yeah, yeah. The show,
I
I don't know who all watches that show.
I don't watch it.
There's
You
not
know,
very many recappers
I
recapping it
was I was
raw.
waiting for this to come back on. So I was watching Mama June came on first. So I was like, oh, let me watch. I don't even know who Mama June. I don't know who these people are. So I don't know if I should recap the show I don't know who these people are.
I will help you so
But
that you'll be fully
I
caught up.
know the Honey Boo Boo. I know Honey Boo Boo. I can't believe she's so grown up now because I
They
didn't even
started
recognize
on
her.
toddlers and tiaras, and then from there they
Right.
went to Honey Boo Boo. And then from there was some fucked up shit she did to the oldest daughter that just passed away. She stole all her money too, like she did Alana. Then they were off TV for some years because then after stealing her money, she got back with the guy who raped her daughter. Then they was off TV for a while. TLC dropped their show. It's drama. I'm telling you, these white folk acted a fool. And I'm kind of here for it because it's not us. But still, it's kind of sad. After all of that bullshit, Mama Jude comes back on TV talking about she want to get skinny. So We TV had the From Not to Hot thing. Then she had a show a couple seasons where she was beefing with her ex Sugar Bear's wife. It's craziness. Now she
Okay.
done stole her money, gave up custody of
That's
the
what I
girl.
saw. I was like, because
It's
I
hella
remember
shit.
Honey. She goes, I don't have no Honey Boo Boo money, and she goes, no, that money's been gone.
She literally only has the money from one gig. And this little girl's been on TV since we
Since she
were in
was
middle
6.
school.
Yeah, she said she was no. Since she was 6 years old. She
Yes.
said she was on TV. So I was like,
She started on
wow.
toddlers and tiaras, y'all. This girl's a toddler and working and now only has 13. Child.
Okay, y'all. I'm gonna watch it again tonight. I'm gonna have to
Right.
rewatch. I'm gonna have to rewatch some shit because I've never seen. I don't know who Mama June is. I know of her because she was on Couples Retreat, I believe, or Couples There. One of those shows.
She
I remember seeing
was.
her there, and then I
Yeah.
remember seeing her doing interviews and stuff and like all this.
I
But
was gonna recap the show, but didn't because the shows I really, really, really love. I'm like, I don't want to take notes. But if you recap it, I will gladly show up and give you any backstory you need because I've been watching it.
I'm gonna need a lot of backstory. Okay, so I'll rewatch it again, and then we'll premiere that after Real Housewives of Potomac reunion.
But you halfway through the season, just a warning, it's almost over.
Oh shit! I thought
But
it
you
just
can still
premiered.
talk about it because people are pissed right now at that lady.
Okay, what we'll do is we'll give like a we'll do not an update, but kind of like a is she really wrong kind of situation. We'll pose this question to YouTube: is Mama June really wrong in this situation? And I'm gonna hashtag her ass because I want her to see what I was talking about. Because there's no way you gonna take how many daughters did she have? 4.
Yeah.
She had 4. Okay, because I remember one that died. I remember that made the blogs, and then I
It's
remember,
all her money too, so she was
and
living
I
rent
remember she
free.
had the daughter Pumpkin that was raising.
Pumpkin and Chubs. Yeah, Pumpkin ended up raising Honey Boo Boo because Mama June ran off onto the crack. She smoked the
See,
life out
oh yeah. So on Tuesday, y'all, we'll do a "Is Mama June really wrong in this situation?" That's what the title of the video is going to be called, and I'm going to. And what we'll do is I'm gonna let Mrs. Best give me the backstory based on some questions that I'm going to have, and one of them is Alana, who raised her,
I'm a
and
super fan, y'all.
I don't know anything about this lady. But
I
going
love
back to,
these people.
I don't know nothing about this, but I watched that one episode where she got the bank receipts, and they said that ain't even all the money, and I'm like, not you scamming your own children. What the hell is going on here, lady? You that damn desperate? So okay, going back to this show now. So Princess, we got off her daddy and everything. Now it's time for Gaucher's LGBT. No, yeah,
Yes.
LGBT community.
LGBT.
Yes, luncheon. Sorry.
QIA.
Yes, I'm like Malaysia. I don't want to say the wrong shit and get canceled. So I'm trying to, But it's the event, y'all. Everyone shows up except for Princess and Crystal. I don't know what Crystal's excuse was. I don't remember what they said. They said she had something going on with an event or something. And then Princess, obviously, her father had passed, so she wasn't up to come. So Tamika little friend shows up though. Before Tamika get there, I keep forgetting the little friend's name. She's not memorable, so sorry, y'all. But as soon as Tamika get there, Gaucher was shocked. She was like, "Oh my god, I did not think you would come." And she goes, "Well, of course I'm gonna come. It's your event. I'm gonna show up." And T.S. Madison, she gives T.S. Madison a hug. That's who else also is co-hosting the event with Gaucher. And she go, "Oh, money is in the building. Y'all got all these people with money." And with the exception of Malaysia, I'm gonna say yes. Tamika definitely got it. Got it.
Yeah,
Princess
she
definitely
pays
got it.
by
Got it.
gesture. 2 kids,
Crystal
divorce, and
definitely
no
got it, got
prenup.
it.
Yeah.
And Gaucher definitely got it, got it. I don't know what Malaysia doing this in these days. Until I see Malaysia's house, I'm not going to speak on that.
I want reality television networks to stop hiring Malaysia. We can, like, at the very least, you can be extremely boring, but I want to at least be able to see your house.
I want to see
Like,
how you live. Like I don't have to see your kids. We don't have to see that.
no, we
But I
saw
want to
just
see
Princess's living room. That's all we
yes,
saw.
in her kitchen because
And
remember
we
I
didn't
want her
need
pots and
nothing
pans.
else. We needed nothing else.
Nothing else.
Like,
We can't show you Malaysia cooking something. Like I'm sorry, Kenny ain't
probably
hungry
sleeping in that
sometime.
G Wagon.
Stop. I don't think she's doing all that. I just don't think she's living
Listen,
how she used to
I
live.
don't know what the hell going on. But at this point, until we see it, if she want us to shut up about it, show me a house. Hell, an Airbnb, girl, a rental. Last
Yeah,
thing we
do
saw is a
something.
small
Yeah.
apartment in downtown LA that none of y'all
Yeah,
could fit.
don't give Jennifer alleged to be real. I'm just saying. Because I'm starting to believe her now. I did believe her then. But I'm starting to believe her now. But yeah. So they get to the event and um, Tamika Herb ordered her some food, which was hilarious, and was eating. And they had drag shows. Gaucher's handing her the money. Tamika was all like giving it to her little friend for her to throw the ones because that was very popular in Florida as well for me when I was living there. They did drag shows a lot, and you would tip them by throwing them ones like you would do strippers. So Tamika wasn't feeling that. She goes, "No, I'm just here just to be present and show my support." And Gaucher is giving her a hard ass time, and I'm like, Gaucher, if you don't sit your ass down somewhere and shut up, because she was getting on my nerves. So Tamika was like, okay, well I'm about to leave now. So Tamika was only in there for about 12 minutes. So Tamika gets up, and Gaucher follows her out. And she goes, "You don't want to stay. You don't want to be educated." And Tamika was like, "No, I don't want to stay. It's my son's party. I got to make sure I make it. I don't want to stay." And then she goes, "Yeah, you don't want to stay because you really don't like this and all this bullshit she was talking." And I was like, Gaucher, see, this is why people going to have a hard time with you. And this is what other people are saying about LGBT community people. This is what they're talking about. Is this right here? Yeah, I do not subscribe to this. I do not subscribe to Gaucher's form of action when it comes to how she wants somebody to be forced into supporting throwing ones on people. If that's not what she wants to do, she's a grown woman. She doesn't have to do it. If she doesn't want to stay longer than 15 minutes, she's a grown woman. She shouldn't have to stay. Just be thankful she did show her presence. She was pissing me the hell off of this, and that's why this is coming off as bullying. This is what they're talking about. You can't force her to do the things and to show this kind of support and stuff if that's not where she is.
I think that the gay community, the LGBTQIA community, instead of focusing on trying to police what the fuck the rest of us are trying to fucking do, get your shit organized. And what you can do, buy television ads, talk to networks. That's what previous people fighting for the little bit of change we have now, that's what they did. Now you see commercials for it. You see them included in television shows such as show romances, things like that, reality TV. People are trying to include y'all, but like instead of shoving shit down people's throat or attacking someone for this, because in Gaucher's point, it's like, well, why would Tamika want to be your friend after getting this education the way that you went about telling her she needed it? Why would she want to deal with you after that? And then if she don't deal with you, you're gonna probably say that she's homophobic. That's also something you could say that can really cancel someone. And in Tamika's case, as the young people say, stop a bag. So it's getting to a point where it's just like malicious. I think what that community should be doing is working with businesses, organizations, charities, things like that. Let those who want to support you show up, or those who are curious or walking by in a park or something, give them some information. But you should be hollering at the government and fighting them so that the change can actually come from the law. I know that's harder to do, but you will probably get a lot further and have a lot more support instead of attacking the heterosexual members of this country. People like Gaucher, like you say, make problems, but I also feel like I feel like she's picking a bone with Tamika because I think anybody who has watched Tamika on TV or is aware of how she can be, I feel like O'Shea might be picking a fight with her because she knows that people are drawn to this show by certain names, and no shade, her picture and name was not one of them. A lot of people came to watch this show because they saw Malaysia, they saw Tamika, and they saw Crystal. So I feel like O'Shea was just going to pick one of those people to beef with because by doing it, it gives her more exposure. I don't buy half of the shit because there's no way you're this bothered.
I agree 100%, y'all. So that was pretty much the episode because it left off on a cliffhanger. We're going to pick up the remainder of the episode in the next live here. But that was Bold and Bougie Season 1, Episode 7 review and recap. Once again, condolences to Princess and her losing her father. That was very sad. Go Shay Mama, get some help because you definitely need it. And,
Oh,
I'm just saying, like, because to have that kind of response to your child telling you this is what happened to her, that there's no way you could walk every day and think that you will be blessed doing it. There's no way. So I want her to do that. And that's it, y'all. And go Shay, quit picking at Tamika. That's all I'm gonna say. Hold on one second. I gotta sneeze, y'all. Hold on. But I made the live actually because now it's not a minute away. Dang. But I'm gonna go ahead and end the live, you guys, and we're gonna pick it up with episode 8, and then that will be our Bold and Bougie. And I will see you guys in the next recap. Bye bye.